And welcome to our Chapter 5 ASCCA monthly meeting. There we go. Thank you everyone for coming. We know we could have done many other things, made more money, been in your shop, but we took the time to be here to encourage each other, to enroll and engage. So I think we're going to have a great presentation this evening. So why don't we start by standing up? Our flag is in the back, so we'll start with a flag salute. Ready, set, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since you're standing, Joseph, can you please represent us?
Yes, let's pray. Loving God, thank you that we can gather here tonight. Lord, we pray today's election day. We ask that you would help us to get leaders that are the right leaders, the ones that care for our cities, our communities, our culture, our people. Lord, we ask that today you would help us learn something that will enable us to run our shops better so we can bless our communities. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, make yourself comfortable. So we're going to start with self-introductions. Do we have a roaming mic or are we going to speak out loud? And why don't we just speak out loud? What we want to do is introduce yourself, your name, the name of your business, how long you've been an ASCCA member, and if you invited any guests and they're here, please introduce us to your guests. So why don't we start right here in the corner? Speak up loud.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. My name is Ever, and I have a position shop named High Tech. I've been a member of ASCCA for 7 months. All right, I'm still learning.
All right.
Which way you want to go?
Round and round.
All right. Hi, everybody. Randy from world famous Jasper Transmissions. And I brought a guest today, Mr. Eric Blames from Lupe's Automotive in Ontario.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby from Olive Auto Center in Burbank. I've been coming here on and off for about 2 years. This is my second month as a member, so it's been great so far. Thank you for everybody.
Daniel Brown, North Hollywood Auto Repair. I've been a member for 6 years.
Wait a minute, you skipped over someone.
Okay, Ali, I was with this organization about 11 years. Then I did a post thing. So this is 11 years.
He sold the shop. Bobby is what he's trying to say.
John Largo, service writer, North Hollywood Auto Repair. I've been coming here for about a year now.
Kirk Haslam, Advanced Muffler and Auto Service, Pasadena, been a member since '67.
And you're past president.
And past president.
Javier with Joe's Garage in Alhambra, member since October of 20, attending meetings since early 90s.
I'm Raul from Raul's Auto Repair in Azusa. I've been a member since 2010, I believe. And tonight I brought my friend from Parking Auto Repair.
And took over, he bought Arking Auto Repair. Arking used to be a chapter member, so now come on. So Sam's here.
Good evening, Seiko Nalata with Seiko's Auto Service out in Monrovia. Been an ASCC member for about 6 months. Thanks to Tim. Thank you.
Hello, Moses from Associated Auto Repair in Covina. Been a member for over 20 years. I took over 2 years ago. And our new service writer, Danny and Carlos.
Hello, everybody. G. Morrow, Certified Auto Specialist in Glendora. We've been members since 1984. Haven't quite got Kirk beat, but anyways, welcome. It's always great to see everybody here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lee Stolzfus, your speaker for the evening, and I am excited and delighted to be here with all of you and looking forward to sharing some really valuable information with you. Thank you so much. Oh, I was going to let her introduce herself, but I will introduce with the love of my life, Diana Pointer. She's also my business associate, and she is phenomenal in terms of her support. And the PowerPoints you see tonight are designed and by her. So if you ever want great PowerPoints, she is the lady for the job.
Hi, Thomas Moni from Crown City Tire. Got Edward here, Lester, Ted, and Brian. I've been a member for a few years now, probably 2 years. I don't really remember, but thank you guys.
Blake from Undercar Plus, been a member for about a year. We're actually out of Buffalo, and glad to be here.
Hello, I'm Sandy from Undercar Plus, also from Upland, but I do have communications with all the Undercar Pluses, so if you guys need any help in anything, you can contact me, okay? So we've been a member, used to be a member in 2004 to 2009, and then we came back just recently, so thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jack from Quality Car Care in Whittier. I've been a member for about 5 months, thanks to Gary from Bazaar's Ultra Automotive. I have a guest tonight from Mayfair Garage in Bellflower, Manuel. I met Manuel when he was my Matco tool dealer. Decided to go back and buy the business that he was working for 20 some odd years. And congratulations on your new business and your endeavors. But Manny, stand up to introduce yourself.
I'm Mexican. Any Mexicans here? Anyway, I'm Manuel. I used to be a Matco guy. Then I went back to wrenching because I couldn't help. So I needed to go back. So
It's an addiction.
yeah, pretty much.
Hey, I'm Joe Gomez from Mark Christopher Auto Center. I've been in the GM business since about 72. Been with Mark Christopher now for 24 years. And I do service a few of the shops that come here, which I'm glad that I'm able to do that. So if you ever need anything, just call Joe at Mark Christopher Auto Center. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Steve Tamori. I represent Rio Hondo College as far as the education branch of the ASCCA. I've been a member along with the California Auto Teachers Association, I think for maybe 7, 8 years now. So, and I used to be a Bosch instructor and had some students here. So, thank you very much. And, I appreciate it. I'm not in liberty to be at your meetings because I teach Tuesday nights, but I'm here to represent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Dave Greer. I'm the auto shop teacher from Beverly Park, Adult Ed, and this is my wife, Julie.
My name is Larry Rather. I have a business in South Pasadena, Larry's Union Service, which I've had since 1975. I've been a member of ASCCA for on and off about 25 years. This is my lovely lady, Jackie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Darren Gilbert. I own Gilbert Motor Service in Alhambra, California. I am an ASCCA board member, and I've been a chapter member for about 15 years now.
Hi, I'm Mike from Amy Automotive here in Pasadena, and it's about my third or fourth month as a member.
My name is Norman Blyden. I'm a CPA and business broker. As a CPA, we do monthly financial statements, bookkeeping and payroll and taxes. As a business broker, we help clients sell businesses and buy businesses.
My name is Ara Hartunian. I own Hart Motors. I'm still joining. I'm going to send the paperwork tomorrow.
Bruce Hawley, Holly Insurance Services, 20 plus years, thanks to Jean Morel, who brought me here.
I'm Mike Bedrosian, own Lex Mastertech in Pasadena. Been a member for about 6 years, and a board member and a vice president. I'm here with my wife and my older son, Baj.
Barry over at Superior Auto Clinic. Joined the family business like 6-7 months ago. My dad, really exciting industry. Look forward to growing more and learning from this great program here. Thanks to Gary. He introduced us to ASCCA. I think we joined prior to the new year, and it's been a great experience. And meeting all these wonderful people is great. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gary Papirian from Bessards All Pro Automotive in Los Angeles. I've been a member maybe 20, 25 years. I have a guest, Heno and Edwin. Hopefully they'll join also. And also I have Javier Sanchez. He's been with us for about 3 years, helping us with the company. He goes to university in the morning, well, at night, and he helps us. He's studying accounting. So, and he loves the automotive industry. So most likely he'll have his own business one day and do his own accounting.
Hello, my name is Ariel Flores, Service Advisor for One Stop Auto Care. We've been a member for over 20 years before Jerry had gray hair. So that's pretty much a long time ago. He had plenty of hair, so. My name is Jerry Cadio. I own One Stop Auto Care for, I don't know how many years, but I've been a member for 20 plus years, 34 years. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Sean Blank. I own Sean's Auto Care, and my lovely wife, Brenna, is here with me. She runs the business.
I'm Shannon Devery with Digital Financial Group. I'm your credit card processor of the group. I think I've been a member for about 10 years and the only endorsed credit card processor with the ASCCA. So if I haven't met you or did a review with you, I'd be happy to do that and see how we can, make things easier for you on the credit card processing side. And tonight I have a guest, Herman, and he has 2 shops he'll tell you about, and this is his first visit.
Hi, my name is Herman Hernandez, and thanks to Shannon to invite me. This is my first time over here to join you guys, and I own 2 shops, and I hope I'll be a member for many years and keep enjoying you guys. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Johanna Reichert from Beamer PhD, co-owner with my lovely husband, Timothy Chikarian, current president. We brought our service advisor, Kevin, our main tech, John, and my apprentice technician, James, with us. Also, Tim invited Joe from Trinity, sorry, I don't know, Trident. You messed me up, Tim. Trident Automotive in Santa Clarita. He's been saying Trinity all day long, and I kept correcting him, and then I said the wrong thing, of course. So, yeah, our guest, Joe from Trident. Thank you.
Miss anybody?
We couldn't do any of this stuff without the administrator, Joseph Appler. And nothing gets forgotten without Wendy, who has done an amazing job. She's the instructor at PCC. And I want to thank Wendy because she does all of the technical background and getting us to Zoom and getting all the work, which is a lot of legwork. So Wendy.
Hi, everybody. Been a member for a long, long time as a tech. Actually, I think it was like 20 some years. Yes, I'm that old. And I want to thank you guys. Because of this chapter, I'm able to go to training for 4 days in Texas. And some of you don't know. So Sean, Automotive, or Jerry, Buzard's, Beamer PhD, all of you guys pitched in, and Darren started the whole process with the first $100. So thank you, because Texas is a no-fly state for us. And I'm able to get several hours of training and go during summer, not affect my students. And if it's not for chapter 5 and you guys that watch each other's back, it wasn't going to happen. So I want it recorded on Zoom. Thank you. I did buy my ticket that night. I got my ticket that night, and I got the times, like a little timeshare thingy, so I could cook there and not eat out every night and get sick or something. So, but I did book it right away, so prices didn't go up. So thank you so much. And I'm going to Texas for the ASC conference.
Awesome. And we actually have one more visitor on Zoom. Rocky, can we hear you?
I don't know that we.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We have Sam.
Go ahead, Rocky.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
I don't think we can hear Rocky, but everybody knows Rocky Kamimian from Beamer and Benz in Orange County, and passed everything in our association. So thank you for joining us, Rocky. I'd like to thank the board and the educators. So if you could please take a moment, if you're an educator or on the board, please stand up. So these are the doers in our chapter. They're shop owners, they're educators, and they're the people that are advancing our industry. So can I get a round of applause? And if you've been under a rock all these years, my name is Tim Shakarian. I'm your chapter president and also your chapter rep for chapter 5. I'm really privileged and excited to be here because I see so many new faces, and the growth of any organization is the new people coming in. So those of you that are here, welcome. And those of you that have been here for years and years, thank you. We count on you for the information and the encouragement that you pass on, so we young people and new people can expand and learn and grow. So without further ado, I'd like to give you a chapter's rep report as to what's going on the state level. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this information already because you go to ASCCA5.com, right? And that's where we get our lifeline of information. So if you haven't gone to the website, you got a cell phone in your pocket right now, ASCCA.com. There's a lot of wealth of information. What I want to bring out as a reminder is June 25 and 26 is our team weekend. It will be held in San Diego. And if you're interested in going, I encourage you to go. If you've never been to a team weekend, read the newsletter. I had a small little section on it, and we talked about how important team weekends are. Once you go, it's like popcorn. Once you pop, you just can't stop. So keep it going. The other event I want to remind you, equally as important, but if you missed June in San Diego, September 16th through the 18th, get out your calendars, put it in your phone now. September 16th through the 18th is going to be the ASCCA Educational Conference. At that educational conference, ASCCA has put together a wealth of information. It won't just be board information. You will be getting technical training, business training, and we'll have a bunch of exhibitors, like our vendors, explaining what their benefits of being an ASCCA member are. So it is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday event. It is right here in our Southern California home of Ontario. So we have no reason, no excuse not to go. We're telling you guys now in advance. If you've never been to any one of these events, it is phenomenal. Very, very good. So I encourage you to go. The last thing I want to bring out is, if you have not, how many people have signed up on the portal, the ASCCA portal? I wish I had more hands than that.
More hands.
So if we don't have enough hands, I want everybody else, when you go home tomorrow morning, put it on your roster before you do anything else. Go to the website and log in. It's very easy. If you don't know how to do it, contact me and I'll send you a YouTube video, because everybody YouTubes everything, right? So if you remember a couple of meetings back, Carolyn and I, Carolyn Cocolette, our state president, and I put together a little video on how to log in with the help of Mike Petrosian. It walks you through the whole process. So the portal is very important. The last thing I want to talk about as chapter reps, it's not really so much chapter reps, but we go to these meetings and events to get encouraged, right? So we had a huge representation of chapter 5 this last weekend at the Elite Invitational. And Gene has always talked about the organization of Elite and how awesome they are. And I know we have a couple of Elite shops in this room. And I'm going to tell you, it was hands down the next level of training and coaching. So if you ever get a chance to go to any one of those events, please go ahead and do so. As a matter of fact, here are some photos from our event. If I can just take 1 minute of your time, can I get the folks that went to please stand up? I'd like to just take 1 minute, if you guys can share with the chapter as to what we learned that we can engage and benefit from. Gene, would you like to start?
Sure. Oh, I don't want to be on camera. So. You guys know what a box is, right? Your company is a box. And if you stay in your box, you never learn anything outside that box. When you go to the conference, whether it's an ASCCA team weekend, whether it's an Elite Invitational, whether it's class, whether it's here, kudos to all of you because you came outside your box. The only way you're going to know and grow the automotive association or your business is to go outside your box. And Malin teaches, there's so many people that teach, but like Tim says, Elite is like up here as far as training and coaching. And myself, Thomas, Jerry, there's a bunch of people here. If you don't know what it is, then ask us and we're happy to tell you. So I don't want to, I'll give Thomas some time, but the invitational was just an outstanding, and there's brochures on the table about Elite if you're interested, or you can talk to us.
Yeah, like Gene said, it was phenomenal because we're outside of our box. I like that analogy. They brought in a lot of industry experts, but also people outside of industry. What's really cool, one thing I can totally share is that they brought in a panel of what they call the right type of customers. And they handpicked the dozens and dozens and dozens of people across the US that are the ones who probably will be the kind of customers you want in your store. And they had a panel, it was a good 3 hours, right? 3 hour section just for them. And we learned truly what do these customers want and what do they really think about with auto repair, X, Y, and Z. And it was phenomenal to learn what their mindset is. And so we kind of come back to it and saying, hey, this is what we're doing right, but we thought we're doing this right. We definitely were not, or we're just average at that. So that was a big takeaway. I can go on and on about that, but I'll say this too. As an owner, you guys need to get your batteries recharged, right? That was a big recharge for Valerie and I, just to go out, have a good time, but also to go, man, I feel a little more inspired right now. And also your round shops, and they're talking about, okay, stand up, we're gonna get a reward for people who do $1 million a year. Now $2 million a year. Now we do 3, 7, 10 million a year. I mean, you're talking to shops that are doing really well, and you learn what they're doing. So it was an eye-opener for us, very inspirational. Then just today we had our conversation about, we already have a mission statement, by the way, but we're redoing it. And we're also developing our own, like, a committee within our own shop about how we can make our process better. So we're putting it to play right away. So very inspirational. All right, who do I give next?
Jerry was also there, and Anna was also there, if you'd like to comment.
I've been a shop owner for 34 years, and I've been an elite member for about 17 years. I know all of you guys are being in this situation that I was about 17 years ago. My wife and I, we're sitting at 2 o'clock in the morning, on just talking about the shop and if it's worth it, not working a lot of hours, not having enough money to pay the bills. You got to pay the parts, so you got to pay the rent. You got to pay the guys, so you got to pay, some insurance. So you know what? I got to the point that I was ready to close the shop. For some reason, I met Bob Cooper, and my life changed. You know what I mean? And I said it so many times. He changed my life. He changed my health, and he changed my marriage. Because when there's pressure in your business and your financials and everything else, it puts pressure everywhere. One of the nice things about these group is like Gary's shop is 1 mile away from me. I would never consider him my competition because we at the same level. We help each other, and he's one of my best friends. So I recommend, if it's not elite, find yourself a group that it can help you. But we got to bring up these industry to the point that we get recognized just like a lawyer, like a doctor, and everything else, because we put a lot of effort into our business and we do a lot of hard work to accomplish those jobs. Thank you.
Jerry, can you take 1 minute to kind of tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm the last guy. So they kind of said everything, but I remember someone from this group said, you don't know what you don't know. And when I first met Bob Cooper, the first meeting I went, and I thought, I know exactly what to do with my shop. No one could teach me anything. But then when I was running my shop back then, I could never leave my shop. I could never really take vacations. I was always worried. And, talking to Jerry, talking to Gene, a lot of these guys that are involved, and then being around, 300 people that are like-minded, and they're doing $7 million, $5 million. And we started talking to people one after another. I met a gentleman that's got a shop in Texas. He's held weddings in his shop. And I think I sent the picture to a couple of guys. Amazing guy, amazing shop. I'm going to go visit him. And again, if we don't know what we don't know, we just figure everything's great. And the key thing we always say, we have a successful business. We have no idea what success is until you start talking to people like these guys. And then you realize maybe you don't have such a successful business. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And one of the interesting things was about Heno, which I brought him here for the Cooper meeting for the first time. I had no idea he had signed up with Cooper. And one of the dinners we were having, he started telling me the changes in his months, and my jaw dropped. And this is, I think the Cooper meeting was November of last year. He signed up in December. And he said his December was one of the best Decembers he's ever had in his life. And now he was able to leave his shop for 3 days to go with us. Before, by the way, he's 1 block away from me. And he couldn't go to the restroom 5 years ago in his shop. I'm telling you that. He's outside, but he would vouch for that. And he left for 3 days to come to the event. So opportunities are when you come in, and then what's the ASCCA or Cooper going to give you, but it's what you're going to get out of it. What you're going to make work for yourself, which it's your choice then.
Thank you, everyone. And what I would share with you, what I learned at this event was when you associate with people that are better and stronger than you, you're gonna grow, and the natural growth processes to help the folks around you that are also in the growing process, because everyone's growing at one point. It was incredibly encouraging for me to be able to have a trainer from Ritz-Carlton telling us about how the Ritz-Carlton provides a cultural experience that is bar none. Joe Marconi was there, and you know Joe Marconi writes articles for Ratchet and Wrench magazine and multiple other magazines. It was amazing to see how he was dialing in your ideal customer and what it took to go through your customer list and get the ideal customers and narrow them down so you can get rid of the bottom feeders. So when you're raising your prices, you're bringing people in that want your service and filtering out everybody else. Because the one thing that I did not hear out of that meeting was price. Price was the one thing we did not hear out of the meeting. Super encouraging. Not one time, though. They even asked the panelists, is price that important to you? And the most important thing I heard was people, relationships, and getting it done. And that's what this industry is all about. We're not into fixing, we are into fixing cars. It's an addiction, yes, but we're people first. So anyways, to wrap that up, we want to stay on track. So thank you to all the people that attended. Those of you, if you feel left out, join us next time. It's quite all right. I felt left out for a long time before I jumped on the wagon. And when you get on that train, you never want to get off. It's super encouraging. So I would like to kind of switch it up a little bit. Maybe we can talk about programs next. If we can get the microphone to our programs chair, Mike Petrosian. He's going to tell us what's upcoming in next couple of meetings.
Hello. Thank you all for being here. As you can see, we have an exciting meeting today and looking forward from our guest. Next month, we have an open forum. Lots of things come up during open forum. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, you guys can write it down for us. If you guys don't have a chance right now, you can email it to either Joseph or to Tim or to me. Don't be shy, whatever you guys have in mind, let us know and we can discuss it. And that's for July. And then for August, we have Tim Huddleston talking about management, numbers, and looking forward for that also. So that's what we have for the next 2 months, and keep posted for coming up after that.
Thank you. If you have an idea, something you want to hear about, speak up, please. That's what this organization is for. We're here for you guys. We're here to elevate, unite, and give voice. So at this point, maybe we can take a moment and turn the mic on over back to Gene so he can give us our government affairs report.
Okay, real quick, so I know we want our speaker to have plenty of time. So on your table, I put an outline of the bills. Joseph emailed it out to everybody. It's on our list. There's not a lot going on. The legislators. Thanks, Tim. Thank you. But anyways, we have Jack Molodanoff, our lobbyist up in Sacramento, updates us. So I just printed what I had, one on each table. Joseph sent an email. If you have any questions, call me. There's a lot of stuff going on, but nothing urgent. Of course, I hope everybody exercised their right to vote today. Really important. And with that, I'll move on to the ASCCA. Myself and Wendy are on the educational committee, ASCCA5. Right, there's too many acronyms in there. We awarded 5 scholarships out of our scholarship funds. Rio Hondo, Citrus, and BCC all had students. We had about 12 students from their schools that applied out of the 36. So really, really proud. And this is a statewide scholarship. All of them did really well. I'm a grader for that. If you want to take on being a grader, let us know. You can grade the scholarships. It's actually a lot of fun. So there was nothing else. I don't think those are the 2 things. Yeah. Okay. Done. All right.
Awesome. Thank you. How important it is to represent on the government side, the government affairs side. And Gene, you do an amazing job. Thank you for giving us the report. And we greatly appreciate it. We appreciate all of the work that our volunteer shop owners do. So give me a minute to get my notes here. So Dr. Lee, as he prefers to be called, is the founder and the CEO of Life Management Systems. It's a coaching and consulting and team building company. He has been a licensed psychologist and an executive coach for over the last 30 years. And he's certified member, and he is a certified member of the John Maxwell leadership team, who serves as a coach and a speaker and a trainer. I'm sure you guys have heard of John Maxwell. If you haven't, you're going to get a good dose of it today. Mr. Lee has helped thousands of clients, his employees, leaders, and organizational team to find and create happiness, joy, growth, and success. All things that we as shop owners seek to find. He says his most important job is being a proud father. So today, he will speak on the effective communication skills for our building powerful connections and a greater professional success in leadership. So please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Lee.
All right. The camera's behind you, Lee.
So if you can stand right here, you'll be on camera.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Turn it off again. Tim's good at that.
I'm good at my.
It's on.
Pressing batteries.
Hello, there we go. All right, thank you, Tim, for that great introduction. I am so excited and delighted to be here with all of you folks. It's great to say ladies and gentlemen. And I like some of the comments here. I heard that we want to get out of the box. We're too much constrained by what we think we know and not enough by what we need to know. So I hope to share some great information with you this afternoon or this evening that'll be really valuable. I also heard an emphasis here that to be really successful, you need to be more of a people person. You need to be building those relationships with others. And so what I did when I was getting ready to do this talk is I went online and I looked at your website because I wanted to learn more about the organization. And here's what I found was your mission statement. By the way, how many of you have recently read the ASCCA mission statement? Let me see your hand. Back here. Okay. She is the professor, and I'm sure she has read it. Okay. So let me refresh your memory or bring you up to speed. It says ASCCA is the vehicle to help you improve your repair shop operations today, saving you time and money while positioning your shop for long-term growth and success tomorrow. So how many of you want to position your shop for that kind of success and for long-term growth tomorrow? Let me see your hands. Okay, so that resonates with you. The other thing that I read on your website is that 2 of your 4 key values are compassion and professionalism. So your mission and your values are in alignment with my mission and my values, which is really important. So my mission is to make the world a better place every day, one person at a time, through my life and my work. How many of you in here know your mission statement by heart? Let me see your hand. Your personal mission statement. All right. See, we're gonna move you forward, I hope, and get you aware that you need to know what your why is. So if I could have that slide, and then there you go. Find your why. And in order to know your why, you've got to know what your values are. What lights your fire? What gets you up in the morning? What makes you go to work? What makes you stay late? What is it that really gives you meaning and purpose? So is it that you want to be a problem solver? You want to make a lot of money? Do you want to be well-known in the community and respected in the community? What are those drivers? What are those values that give you purpose, direction, and meaning in your work? And it's really important. I asked Jean and his friend over there, how many people in your industry, in this group, probably have a written mission statement and know your values and know your vision? A vision statement also tells you what you want to do, become, and accomplish in the next 1 to 5 years. So you should have that. I would recommend it personally, and I would recommend it for your business. So how many of you have a written mission statement that you share with your team at your work? Let me see your hands. So a few of you. I would highly recommend that. And I'm not just recommending it because I believe it's important. What the research shows is if you have a clear understanding of your mission, your vision, and your values, you're much more likely to be successful. You're likely to get to your goals. And those form your North Star. And what does the North Star do? It helps us navigate, right? So if you follow your mission, vision, and values, your North Star, you're not going to get lost. You are going to move forward towards your goal, and you are going to be successful. So that's really important in my first recommendation for all of you tonight. All right, let me have that next slide, please. There we go. All right, so I'm going to share a truism with you, and that is success is not a solo act. It requires others. So we need to be aware that the myth of a self-made man or woman is what? It's a myth. We've all gotten some help. We've all gotten some encouragement. We've all caught a break along the way that has gotten us to the level we're at right now. And it's important for us to remember that. And I believe it's important for us to thank those people that have helped us get to where we are. That's really important. But it's also important to realize that we do need other people. We do need to relate and connect with others. But first, it begins inside of us. Success is an inside out job. It's got to emanate from your heart, mind, body, and soul. You've got to feel it and realize it and act it in your life. So if I could have the next slide, please. All right. So it helps if you're going to communicate with others and you're going to lead others, and that's what we all are. We're all leaders. Whether you accept that role or not, you are leading others. You are impacting others through your life and through your work. And here's the kicker. If you want other people, how many of you want to see your employees improve, learn, grow, get better, get more efficient and effective, and so on? Let me see your hands. How many of you? Okay. Guess what? You have to be a role model. It isn't just going to happen, is it? And of course, you may be encouraging them to take some training, take some classes, but you have to be walking your talk. And I'm sure many of you have heard that expression, I've got to walk my talk. So what I'm going to do right now is on the count of 3, I'm wanting all of us to say out loud, I'm walking my talk. So on the count of 3, let's say, I'm walking my talk. 1, 2, 3, I'm walking my talk. Hey, that was pretty good. But you know what? I think we can do it better. So on the count of 3, let's do one more time. With energy, enthusiasm, conviction, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. I'm walking my talk. Okay, good. I think the help in the kitchen could hear that. Maybe they'll get inspired too. That would be great. All right. All right. But besides walking your talk, you obviously have to communicate, connect, and relate to others, right? You can't do it all on your own. You need a team. You not only need a team, you need customers, and you've got to relate to not only your staff, your team, but also to your customers. And it helps if you are relating to people in the community. You want to have the respect and endorsement of community leaders, whether that's your kid's school teacher, the principal of the school, the chief of police, et cetera. You want them on your team. So you have to know how to communicate, connect, and relate to them if you want to be truly successful. So what is it? So what does that look like? Let me share that with you. Let me slide that if I would, just a minute. All right, so what I'd like to say is that it looks like you are relating to people in a way that creates impact and influence and rapport with them. You want to really be connecting with them and making sure that you guys are in rapport with each other. So whether that's with your kids at home, your extended family, with your customers, with your raving fans, your staff, you need to be in rapport with them, and that's the goal of my talk tonight, is to help you grasp that idea and put it into practice. So the reality is that we all are leaders, whether we realize it or not. And that's really important. It's really important that you accept that you are a leader and embrace that role. And what that means is you got to be working on it and growing and learning and getting better every single day. Because if you don't, you're going backwards. There's no such thing as standing still these days. With the pace of the economy and with the pace of the innovation and so on, you have to be learning, growing, and getting better every day if you're wanting to get ahead. So I'd like to share with you a quote by someone in your industry. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, Carol Shelby. And he says, "You better learn to work with people because they are the only thing you have to make anything work." All right. So we got to work with people if we're going to be successful. Okay, so let me. Oh yeah, I want to illustrate this with a story. You know, we are all influencing and impacting others, and if you could give me the next slide here. Okay. We're all influencing and impacting others through this broad category of interpersonal behavior. And I'd like to share this story because recently I was at my ophthalmologist. Getting to that age where the eyes aren't what they used to be, unfortunately. And I had a lady in there, a technician. She was running some tests on my eyes. And we got talking. And she shared with me that she had gotten into this habit of, in the morning, taking her two daughters to work, and then, to school, and then she would go to work. But before they would do that, they would stop at fast food places, and they would get sugary drinks, caffeinated drinks, food that really was not the healthiest for her and for the kids. And so she realized this, she had this insight, this epiphany, like maybe this is not being a good leader. Maybe this is not being a good role model for my children. And so she stepped up to the plate, she said. She went shopping. She made sure there was good, healthy food in the refrigerator, that the kids had good breakfast with protein and fresh fruits and stuff in the morning. And they stopped doing fast food. And this is what she said. She said, you know, we're happier, we're healthier, and I'm saving $500 to $600 a month. So she was wanting to be a better role model, a better leader for her kids. And that's what we all need to do, not only for our family, but for those we live and work with. So remember you're a leader, accept that role, embrace it, and really work on it. Be committed to your growth and to your development. Yeah. All right, so what I want to do here with this is we had a slide that said we needed to increase our self-awareness, our self-discipline, and our self-esteem. And those are the keys to your happiness. They're the keys to your success. that are the keys to making a difference in your world and in the world in general. And so I want to talk a little bit more about that. Here's a great quote that I think relates to all of us. And it's from Kent M. Keith, who wrote a book called The Case for Servant Leadership. And here's what he says, and please listen to this carefully. One of the hardest things to learn as a leader is that a grimace, an offhand remark, or a joke in poor taste can have a lasting negative impact on others. I think most of us, I certainly have, sometimes we've said something and we wish we could, take those words and go, push them right back in to your mouth. So because we realize, oh, that wasn't very kind. That wasn't very helpful. That was a dumb thing to say. So sometimes you can apologize, take responsibility for it, and make it better. But then on the contrary, on the other side of that, he says, conversely, a smile, a thoughtful remark, and an encouraging word can have a lasting positive impact. So that's what I want to encourage all of us to do, is be more aware of our interaction, what we say, what we do, and how we respond to others that we're interacting with. So let me say I want to share something more on the positive side, and that is the idea that we're able to do something really great with our time and energy. And this is based upon I read something recently about Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's the guy who first played Luke Skywalker and has now played many roles since then. And he is a real avid devotee of his fan clubs and his fans. And he goes to fan clubs, he corresponds with his fans, he shows up sometimes unexpectedly at his fan club meetings. And people were asking him, hey dude, what are you putting all that time and energy into these fan clubs for? And he said something really interesting. He said, wouldn't you do the same thing if you could make somebody's day by just showing up? I thought, oh, that's kind of nice. He's a lucky guy. He can make somebody's day by showing up. And then I reflected on it and I thought about it. And you know what? All of us can make somebody's day by just showing up. And how do we do that? We do that by having a genuine, warm, caring interest in other people. And that's about developing effective communication skills, and that connecting leads to influence and leadership. But we can't lead other people effectively if we're not communicating and connecting and in rapport with them. We have to have that kind of relationship. Now, I realize I'm talking about the people skill side of what you do. It also is important, obviously, that you're clear with what the goal is and what the consequences are and how you motivate and reward other people. That's all part of leadership and management too. Tonight, I'm talking more about the people side, building that rapport, building that connection, building that community, if you will. All right, so I think it's really important to, let me try the next slide, please. Yeah, it's really important to remember that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Have you heard that before? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So we've got to be able to have that relationship that we can leverage to motivate, encourage, develop others. All right. And here's I think this is really relevant to all of you, because you know, in talking to some of you before this talk, I found out that many of you are wanting to increase your employee engagement and your employee retention. Is that correct? Or the shop owners out there want more retention and engagement and so on. Okay, so this, so I know some of you are going, okay, Doc, enough of the touchy-feely stuff. We don't need that. Just tell us how to get the best price on our products and how to market and so on. But we do need to have that connection, that relationship with others if we're going to be successful. So here's what Gallup found. The Gallup Management Organization, they found that you could significantly increase employee retention and employee engagement by asking this question. And if the person answered yes, the employee answered yes, it was likely the retention and engagement would go up. And that question is, do I have a boss who cares about me as a person? Do I have a boss who cares about me as a person? So what that means is you care about the person's health. You care about the person's development. You care about the person's future. You want them to be successful because you realize they're going to help you be successful if they're successful. They're much more motivated, dedicated, committed, and involved. So that's what we need to keep in mind is how are we going to communicate, connect, and build that rapport with our employees and with our customers as well. Yes.
What is meant by your?
All right. So thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So this is this is kind of a review and then some new information. So if we're going to really communicate and connect with others, we need to smile, we need to connect, we need to communicate, and we need to genuinely, sincerely care about the person. It also helps if we raise EQ. So that's a great question. EQ stands for emotional quotient, and it also, some of you may have heard of EI, which is emotional intelligence. Let me ask, how many of you in here have heard of emotional intelligence? A few hands, okay.
Anyone that went to the elite conference heard about it.
Everyone, okay, well, I didn't know that, but I'm on track with you. So emotional intelligence, let me read you a succinct definition, and Gene, tell me if this jives with what you read or heard at the elite conference. My definition is EQ is the skill and ability to be aware of feelings and emotions, and I would add even your needs internally, and you're aware of the feelings and emotions and needs of others. And you use that knowledge to navigate and manage and improve the relationship you have with others. That sound somewhat similar?
Right, they're talking on most of us use our IQ, our intelligence. We need to change, especially with the new younger folks we have coming up that we have to deal with our, emotional intelligence or EQ.
Right.
Has to change for you to be able to deal with all these younger people.
Yes, exactly. And thank you for that, Gene. The good news is there's several things that are good news here. It's difficult to raise your IQ, not impossible, but difficult. It's much easier to raise your EQ because EQ is based upon skill. It's based upon new behaviors. It's not based upon necessarily innate intelligence. So that is really good news. And the best news is success is much more highly correlated with high EQ than with high IQ. In other words, if you can have good rapport, good relationships, good connections, good communication with other people, you're much more likely to be successful than than being a genius. We've met some geniuses that well, I know that she knows what I'm going to say, that are emotionally, behind the curve, or, to put it into vernacular, they're just jerks. You work on their cars, okay? Speaking of my.
Yeah, I work on their cars.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks for that reminder and contribution, Gene, I really appreciate it. And thank you for that question too. All right, let's try the next slide. All right, so what I'm saying here is we are all leaders. whether you know it or not, because you're influencing others by your interaction and by your behavior. So I'd like to ask a question here. Let's drill down a little bit deeper. How do you feel, besides that broad category of interpersonal behavior, how do you feel that you're impacting, influencing, or leading others? So let me give you a tip that might get us thinking a little bit. Do you do that by your attitude? Sure. You know, if the guys come into the shop in the morning and you're in a sour, sullen, you know, terrible mood, that is influencing, impacting the leadership you're manifesting with others. Some other ideas about how you may be impacting and influencing others. Anybody?
If I may, as an instructor, I feel like sometimes I'm on stage.
Can everybody hear this gentleman?
Yeah, as an instructor teaching folks in this industry, a lot of times I feel like I'm on stage. So I have to have that positive role model first thing in the morning or when I'm ready to teach a class. If I come in a pissed off mood, I know I'm going to influence it in the wrong way. And I may have a bad day, but I don't care. I'm on stage and I have to be that role model. So I think I kind of understand what you're talking about.
Thank you. And your first name again is? C. Yeah, thanks, C. So what you're saying is you are making a conscious choice to get on track and manifest a positive attitude as much as you can. Okay. Yeah, excellent. So that is the challenge, isn't it? Not to get stuck in that negative, as you said, pissed off mood and have it color your interaction with all the other people. So we are influencing and impacting other people in ways that you may not have even thought of. So it's your mood, it's your attitude, it's your energy level, it's the tone of your voice. All of these things can have a very either positive, as the quote said a while ago, either a very positive or negative impact on others. So we need to be consciously aware of that. So thank you for that question. That was great, and for that input and comment. Okay, so let me ask you, how many of you, let's go ahead with another slide. Yeah, here's the question. Are you ready to find out who is the most important person in your world and in your life to communicate with if you want ultimate leadership success? Raise your hand if you want to know that. Oh, yeah, a few hands are going up. Okay, good, good, good. So here is the bottom line. Some of you are probably sitting here thinking, that's probably my wife, my husband, my significant other. Maybe it's my kids, my parents, my employees. It's none of those. It is you. Remember, success is an inside out job, and communicating and building rapport with others has to start with you. It begins with you. And how do you do that? You do that by being aware of your internal self-talk. So, you know, the Zig Ziglar, the famous motivational speaker, right? How many of you are familiar with Zig Ziglar? Yeah, a bunch of you are. Okay. So Zig Ziglar said, it's your attitude that determines your altitude. It's your attitude that determines your altitude. He's talking about that inner dialogue. He's talking about self-talk. So let me ask you a question. How many of you talk to yourself? Let me see your hands. Two hands. Oh, she's going home with me tonight, by the way. So yeah, that's great. I'm with friends here tonight. You guys talk to yourself. That's super. However, I noticed that there were a handful of you, a number of you who didn't raise your hand. And I know what's going on with you. You're sitting there and you're going, do I talk to myself? I don't think I talk to myself. So I'd like to Where are we with the timeline? We're good. Okay. So what I'd like to have a volunteer, preferably a shop owner. It can be a man or a woman to do a demonstration, a fun demonstration up here that is going to show the power of self-talk. So the winner is going, or the volunteer is going to get a copy of Dr. John Maxwell's book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. So who would like to be a volunteer and have some fun? Okay, come on up. Give him a hand. Thank you. I'm gonna do it back and forth. Yeah. Yes. So your name is?
Bobby again, Olive Auto Center in Burbank.
Okay. Bobby is our volunteer, I mean guinea pig. So let me do this. Are you left-handed or right-handed? Right-handed. So everybody can see Bobby. So what I want you to do is put out your right arm. There. Okay. Now I want to make sure you haven't had any injuries, surgeries. This arm is good and strong. Okay. 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 So I want you to make it stiff and strong. And I'm going to push down, and you don't let me do that. You resist. Okay. His arm is strong, by the way, folks. Okay. So now what I want you to do is I'm going to have you put out your hand and say the same thing. Okay. And this time you're going to be saying negative self-talk. You're going to say, I'm tired. I don't feel well. I have low energy. I'm not making enough money. Life sucks. You're going to say those kind of things out loud. I'm going to test his arm again.
I made zero money today. My technicians are expensive as hell, and they don't produce enough.
Okay, so you see what happens is when
Microphone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me ask you, what do you think happened?
I actually know, I'm aware of this actually. This is totally true. It's true. It's 100% true. It's, Gene knows, I took elite course with Doris Barnes. My God, what a difference. Okay. You know, and I knew this from before, when I would walk into a shop and be like, oh my God, it's not worth it. This car's worth $2,000. What am I going to sell in this car? If you realize that you are actually prejudging, and it's your own thoughts putting a limit on what you can do with this. I graduated class, I was selling $8,000 on a car that was 20-year-old, you know? So me knowing this, and then you saying it, I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm okay, it is 100% true. Yeah, good. It slows you down, it basically blocks you from being on top of your game, being confident, and then transferring that vibe to technicians, to customers, over the phone especially, because they can't see who you are, they don't know who you are. It's just tonality.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So let me get that book.
I really came up here for the book.
Here you go. Thank you very much. Now I have a disclaimer on that.
I push him to raise his hand. Can I get?
Unfortunately, I only have one with me, sir. You deserve one, though.
That's okay. Go in the office, go in the shop, and sit there on the couch and read it while he works.
He'll finish all my coffee.
So I want to just tell you my disclaimer. This is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any emotional, mental, psychological, or physical diagnosis or disorders. I'm here tonight as an executive coach, not as a treating clinical psychologist. So please remember that. But if you want to be successful, you definitely need to be aware of your self-talk. Neuroscientists are saying we may talk to ourselves up to 50,000 times a day. A thought, an idea, a feeling that goes through our mind and our head. And the thing that's really important is you need to make sure you are running your self-talk, and your self-talk is not running you. You need to get your mind, your brain, yourself, your consciousness involved in what you are saying. So if you want to be successful, be very careful what you say to others, what you say to yourself, and what you choose to think and believe. That's really important. All right, so here's the good news. Leadership skills are completely teachable and learnable. You don't have to have a PhD, you don't have to have a graduate degree, you don't even have to have a college degree. And besides, you know what a college degree is about. You go and you get a Bachelor of Science. And what is that? That's a BS degree. Then you go and you get an MS. That's more of the same. And then finally, if you're lucky like me, you get a PhD. And I can tell you it's definitely piled higher and deeper. Okay, so the good news is, what does it take to learn better communication skills? What does it take to learn better leadership skills? It takes a desire and an intention and a goal. And it sounds like Elite and some of these other programs that you have access to are dynamite. They're very powerful and they can really make a difference in your development and in your success of your shop. So definitely take advantage of many of these opportunities that are available to you. And what I like to say is, in my coaching work, in my team building work, I do a great deal of focus on raising EQ, raising your emotional intelligence. And that is incredibly powerful. It's incredibly rewarding to me. I have many cases where I've literally worked with hundreds of people doing coaching and leadership development work. And many of them, after my work with them as coach and or team builder, they have been promoted within 1 to 2 years, at least 1, 2, even 3 levels up. And in several cases, I've had individuals that have been like at the departmental level or division chief, and within 2 years after the coaching with me, they get promoted all the way up to the executive committee of multi-billion-dollar operations. And their IQ didn't change, but I can tell you their EQ changed dramatically. So it's a really powerful thing. I would really encourage all of you to be doing what you can, taking classes, reading books. John Maxwell's books are excellent for learning more about leadership and communication and success. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so how many of you ready for the 5 communication tips for leadership success? Raise your hand if you are. All right, good. So these are really, really important. And the first one is to make appropriate eye contact. And so what does that mean? Some of you probably have had experiences like I have, where someone just locks their horns like I am with Bobby, and he just stares right at you, like, almost like they're ready for a fight. It's intimidating, it's threatening. That's not a good idea. You want to look at the person and look away, intermittently making eye contact. Likewise, some of you have been with people that are like this. You're having a conversation and they're looking away, they're looking up, they're checking their watch, they're looking at their computer screen. They are not making eye contact. What does that do to you? How do you feel when that happens?
Ignore.
Ignore. That's right. You feel like you're invisible. It doesn't build trust, doesn't build connection, doesn't build rapport. So use appropriate eye contact. Next, be sure you smile. Yeah, you gotta be warm. You gotta be smiling. And my quote is, a smile is an inexpensive way to increase your face value. A smile is an inexpensive way to increase your face value. Yeah. And so smile and use the person's name. So what I mean by that is, a lot of times when we're familiar with people, we just say, how are you doing? How was your weekend? What do you think? We're always just using you. But what really is important is intermittently to use their name. Hey, Betty, how's that project going out in the shop? Hey, how was the weekend with the in-laws? How was your son's football game? And Steve, how did it go at the party last night? You're using their name intermittently, just you, not just you, but sprinkling in their name. And that comes from Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is a great book, highly recommend it. It's a great primer along with some of John Maxwell's works. And he says that a person's name is the sweetest sound in any language. So be sure to use the person's name, and we want to really connect and build rapport with each other. That's important. Here's another one. Respect people's boundaries. Well, before the pandemic, most people were pretty comfortable shaking hands, right? Most of us. Yeah, but since the pandemic, many people are not that into shaking hands. They're a little bit more reticent or reluctant. So what I do is if I haven't seen somebody for a long time or it's a new person, rather than just thrust my hand out there, I'll probably be talking to them, and I'll just kind of put my hand out gently like this and say, hey, are you comfortable shaking hands? Are you okay shaking hands? You want to shake hands? Respect that person's boundary and what they're really comfortable with. The second thing I would say is you want to deepen the connection with the person. So if they can't shake hands, I guess the new thing is the fist bump, the elbow bump, or the virtual hug. Okay, or I guess the heart symbol now is one of the ways to up the connection and the communication with someone. And here's an important one. You want to be asking questions. You want to take an interest in the conversation with the other person. Don't just sit there like a bump on the log and not really be involved. Ask questions, show that you're interested, and build that rapport and connection with other people. That's really important, whether you're talking with your shop staff, or you are talking with customers, or you're talking with a loved one. Really make that eye contact and ask questions and take an interest in the other person. And also actively listen. That means that you're involved, you're doing your give and take, you're sharing when it's appropriate. It's really important that you do that most of the time. So over 50% of the time, be actively listening. John Maxwell, in many of his books, recommends you listen 75 to 80% of the time. So you'd really be intently listening. And there's a whole science to actively listening to others, which I'm not going to go into here in this presentation. That could be for another presentation. So that's really important. Now, here's the teaser, guys and gals. I have a 6th tip, and it's a good one, but I'm not going to tell you tonight. And here's what you got to do. At the end of the presentation, you're going to see my QR code. That QR code is going to take you to a dedicated page for ASCCA Chapter 5. And on that page, you're going to get the 6th communication tip, and it's really a good one. And you're also going to get 6 quotes from auto industry people like Alan Mulally and Lee Iacocca and Danica Patrick and others that you're familiar with in the racing and auto industry. And those quotes are going to be to encourage you and inspire you and motivate you to be a better communicator, to be a better leader, and to be a better shop owner. And that's my goal for tonight, is to encourage you to do that. So in a minute, or after the Q&A, we'll give you that QR code. All right, next slide, please. All right, you've got a good helper here, Linda. So practicing these leadership skills will increase employee engagement and retention. I made that point earlier, but I just recently read a study by the Pew Research Center, and that study found that out of all the people who quit their job last year in 21, 35% said they quit because they didn't feel respected and appreciated at work. So if you want greater engagement and greater retention, communicate with people in a way that's going to encourage them and make them feel important, make them feel appreciated. That's really fundamental. And another 21%, according to the study, cited that as the secondary reason for quitting their job. So if you want up the retention and engagement, that's really important. All right, so let me see the next slide. All right, we're gonna have a Q&A here, but before we do that, I'd like to ask you to think about one or two people in your world, whether it's somebody in your family, somebody you're close to, someone at your shop, a customer, whatever, that you want to deepen the relationship with. Think about that, and if you have a pen or paper, you can write it down. And I want you to focus some time and energy and thoughtfulness on that during the next 3 months. Focus on improving those relationships and connecting and communicating better with them. Okay, so what kind of time do we have left here for the Q&A?
8:30.
Okay, all right. So yes, sir.
All right, I'll start.
I think is that Tim?
Yes.
Tom. There you go, Tom.
Thank you. So you start with a mission statement. I'll go over there. So you start with a mission statement, and it's funny because we're working on revamping ours right now. So, well, I think a lot of companies, they develop a mission statement, it feels all good, and then it goes on maybe a poster, then it stops there or gets filed away and no one remembers it. So what do you recommend for those who really want to live by that? And I think it's also important to say that, hey, mission statement is part of like what we're doing, right? So how do you keep reinforcing that?
Excellent question. Thank you, my friend. The answer to that is that you don't just put it on the wall, or worse yet, put it in a drawer, but that in your staff meetings, maybe even at lunchtime, when you're having discussions, bring up your mission statement, bring up what the key values are that are essential to your mission, to your business and to your mission statement. I think when you're talking with an employee about a project and they're having difficulty getting it done right or on time, whatever the issue is, you can relate that to your values, relate that to the mission statement, and make it come alive. So apply it as often and appropriately as you can. Yes.
I actually make it twofold. When I don't follow through with my expectations or their expectations of me, I have to call me on it. So say it's twofold. You expect me to teach you, I expect you to be here on time. I'm here on time. I'm here in uniform. You should be in uniform. So when I don't, I let them read me for it. So, and then it feels like, man, she gives a, you know what. So I let them say, hey, you didn't email me back. Sorry, this was going on, but I got to give that same allotment to them. So I got to live that expectation that I put on my students because I know you guys have it. So my expectation is at your level. So you said, who do you report to? I talk to myself a lot, but I talk to these guys more. So I don't listen to what the students want because sometimes they don't know right now what they want. I know what they need. You know what they need. So I make those expectations based on your input. But when I don't follow through, I tell them, you're allowed to. My coworkers, I tell them, if I don't pick up this, or I don't do this, or I leave tools out, I expect you to throw them in my face the next morning. Lock them up. I want them lost, but remind me. Because the only way is by repeating and getting rid of that bad habit. So I make it twofold.
Great, thank you.
That is a great response. And let's give Wendy a hand for walking her talk. Great. Okay. Some other good questions here.
Tim always says.
Got a question. I don't need the mic. How do we gap the difference between expectation versus agreement? We've got agreement and engagement on there. So from your viewpoint, how can we get past the emptiness of expectation and get agreement not only from our staff, but also all of the people that we interact with so we can have a more mutual relationship or a better, firmer relationship?
If I'm understanding the question, Tim, I think that requires some serious dialogue and communication. Here's the goal, here's the project, this is what I understand our agreement is, what our expectation is. How do you see it? You want to take the time to communicate and get buy-in and agreement. Yeah, that's really important, because otherwise it's, you're not totally hitting the mark with each other. Does that help? Good question, Tim. And Bobby's got a question here.
So I wanted to add into what he said, employee engagement. Monday through Thursday, fantastic. Here comes Friday for no good reason, right off the bat, just in the bed. Absolutely has nothing to do with the shop.
You're talking about yourself or?
No, an employee. Now you have a hard time trying to, well, it's not you. But, and there's no logic into it. So how do you get an employee to stay engaged all the time, even though it's not really realistic, I would say, but you know what I'm trying to say? Or just Monday randomly just show up and then it affects their job.
Well, one of the things you're raising, which may or may not be related to it, is there an addiction problem? Is there a partying problem going on? Is someone using substances that's interfering with their work? Do you suspect any of that?
No, mostly issues maybe at home, outside of work.
Yeah, so it could be conflict at home.
Right.
Yeah, it could be a sick child, could be a kid that's gotten in trouble with the law. Maybe they're not meeting their bills, could be all kinds of things. I think the thing to do is not in a public forum, but if you've got a private area, say, hey, I noticed your mood and your attitude's not so good today. What's going on? I really need you to be here and be committed and be involved and be a good employee. Tell me what's going on. Have you tried that with him?
I usually save it for the meetings, monthly meetings, not maybe a particular day.
Okay.
It's just totally random. It's not a all the time thing. It's not a repeat thing. Randomly, it's just boom.
Okay.
Shows up, employee shows up. Just weird.
Okay, so I've had this at school and I can't wait till that meeting. I have to address it so that it's calling them on it, because they'll dismiss it. But it's what he's saying, the caring, that emotional contact. It's not that you're excusing it, but you are taking the time to ask what's going on. And I've had substance abuse where I see them high, I see them hungover, and I say, you're a safety issue for yourself and the rest, and I need you to sit out. I'll go check on them in an hour. You know what, are you well or not well? Because the focus is fixing these cars right and not hurting ourselves. And you're still caring for them, but the goal, and that's what the agreement is, I think that Tim is saying, the agreement is these cars need to be safe on the road and fixed accurately. If you can't do that, you could hurt them, kill a customer, and hurt yourself. And then you're gonna make me make that hard decision. So I always focus and I approach it like a shop owner, and I'm like, if you're well, good, and if you're not, it's okay. You could catch up, but you're gonna make up these hours later. But the fact that I'm even interested in where they're coming from, if you're sick or you're ill, do you need to see the nurse? What do you need? Is it something I can help you with? If it's just they had a bad day, they're up all night with their child, are you okay to do this? Even maybe switch the work. They can't do one of those heavy jobs because their head's throbbing. Maybe they have a migraine. You don't know, but unless you ask. Yeah. And switch the jobs up. Still give them a couple hours. You know what? I'm going to cut you out a little early, but you're still. Are you still okay to work these hours? We have these waiters that are here. Why don't you take those, and I'll give these bigger jobs over here. And then just communicate.
Yeah.
If they shut down completely, at least they have the interaction, because now you have something you can write about. I've tried and I get a response from you. So that's, your emotional equivalent's there. It's just they're unplugged. But
it's a little easier when it's a child. It's very different when it's an adult, for example. Let's say, everybody has to text, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, they're on flat rate. Don't come and make a comment, something like, well, how come his parts always show up on time and mine doesn't? That kind of thing, right? Like, it's like, okay, as an owner, I know that the sooner both of you guys get it done, the more money shop makes, the more money I make. It's not that I'm intentionally keeping the parts away from you. It just happens that you do diagnostics. It just happens that a couple of cars back to back, parts don't show up one time. What is it you want me to do?
Well, not every part's on
Right, and then I
shelf.
go kind of explain this to them, like, it's not intentional, and then it's like good for a couple of weeks, and then boom, it just comes out of nowhere. How come he gets his brakes on time and I gotta wait? You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. It's like, and we already went over this.
One of the things that I would recommend is most of the time, if you've got an employee or a team member who's out of line, who's underperforming, who's screwing up, it's better to talk to them. The maxim goes like this: praise in public, reprimand in private. So have that conversation to the side or in your office if you can. Sometimes you probably can't. And certainly if there's danger involved, you just got to go, hey dude, stop it. This is dangerous. This is not going to work. But most of the time I would recommend to all of us, talk to someone in private if you can. And then some of this is relevant to your team meetings for sure, or where it seems like it's endemic to the team. Great. Okay, let's, can you give me the next? Okay, thank you very much for this. Tim's got a question.
Actually, it's a comment from Rocky Vivian, who's on Zoom, passed on the message, and he wanted me to convey this, because along the lines of what Gary was talking about. And he said, we have no competitors. We are in competition with ourselves. We strive to be better every day, better than yesterday.
Amen. Preach it, brother.
That's good.
All right, so here is the QR code that you can go to my website and read your dedicated page. And also be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And thank you so very much for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Thank you.
All right. And it looks like tonight, hang on. Tonight is a gift card and sweatshirt night. So thank you. We added $555 to our education fund tonight. Thank you very much. And we will start with a sweatshirt that says troublemaker. This is from Kurt. I don't know why he's not wearing it.
It's good.
All right, the last four numbers, 9751. 9751. Back in the back. All right. And here's a $15 Starbucks card that I don't know who donated. Oh, Dr. Lee. Okay. Okay. All right, $15 Starbucks card. 9755. Again, now, it was suggested to me that when you buy 5 tickets, Bruce was suggesting we should keep them all together. So when we pull them out, and read the number, that way you only win once. Was that only win once? Is that what is? Okay, Bruce, I think that they didn't like your idea. Okay. Superior, yes. All right, and here we have a Subway gift card from Undercar Plus. $9772. Wait a minute. No, it was Undercar, right? Are you with Undercar? Yeah, I don't want to give you your own gift card. So this is from Holly Insurance. Yeah. We'll try the subway one again. 9861. Oh, all right. I love it when guests win. And this one is an in and out $15 card from your chapter, ASCCA Chapter 5. 9879. Thank you. Excited.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about another troublemaker sweatshirt? Nine seven seven three. Yeah, okay, that's it. Shannon the troublemaker. Here's one that Randy didn't know he brought tonight, a Jasper shirt. It was left over from our last time. Thank you, Randy. 9782. All right. Here we have a Starbucks card, $25 Starbucks card from Norm Blyden. Yes, I see those of you out there who are praying. 9884. 9884, Bruce. Okay. All right, so Wendy is modeling a shirt here. We got it from Advanced Muffler.
No mufflers.
9881. 9881.
Bruce.
You want? Okay. And I see Wait a minute. You actually want to win twice?
Well, I'll take the shirt.
We'll have to change to different size.
Okay, another $15 from Starbucks from Dr. Lee. 9745.
What's that shirt?
The back wall is getting them tonight. Here's another, by the way, this is a Christmas card from In and Out, from Bruce Hawley. 9808. 9808. All right. This is a Starbucks card from Chapter 5. 9769. 9769. All right. You didn't get the $25 one, but you got the 15 one. Here's another troublemaker sweatshirt. You realize that this is kind of prophetic. Whoever gets it, that means it recognizes, the universe knows this is what you're like. 9805. Okay.
There you go.
Another subway card from Undercard. Getting your exercise, Tim?
Oh, yeah.
9749. Mike was over. Another $15 Starbucks card from Dr. Lee.